Welcome back, guys, to the Pest and Lawn Ginger, and this is my lawn. It's August 17th, and we're going to go through a few things. It's been a little while, I've been letting the lawn de-stress, but let's go check it out. So I always like to start by showing you guys the rough cut of the lawn. It's looking pretty good. I gave it a little while, but you can see the tracks here, if you go back to episodes 1 and 2, they're starting to disappear. Really not having too many issues on this side, and we're still having a few issues on this side, but you can't see that definitive mark anymore. I've got this big brown spot in the middle. My kids had a good time this week, and they got the slip and slide out, and when it's 90 degrees, guys, you get tip burn. And it's kind of fun to look at. You get deep inside here, and you can see where it was just having a rough go. So I've still been having a few struggles with the shallow roots I want to show you. So I want to take a closer look here and kind of show you. So you see there's a couple of tell signs here. I'm getting some dandelions coming in. I've got some foxtail that has come in. And overall, you can just see the shallow root development. Now the win here is, I went and scraped this out a couple of weeks ago, as you guys saw in the video, and as you can see, I'm getting rhizomes popping in, kind of trying to push to fill in this area. So that's the plus sign. Went ahead and sprayed this piece of crabgrass. If you guys have seen my crabgrass video, you know I like to use quinclorac mixed with a methylated seed oil, and it works really fast. So I'm pretty happy with how fast that's dying out. Now, I use weeds as a teaching opportunity. Weeds kind of tell me that there's openings in the grass that are allowing Mother Nature to send the weed seeds in to fill in the gaps. Now, my best bet is to fill in these gaps with grass. Now, the Rhizomatous Kentucky bluegrass that I have, it's just not quite keeping up. I haven't been able to get it healthy enough. Now, please remember, I just started this process early June, around June 5th. I posted my first video on June 11th. And so to get the lawn to this point where it's at, I'm pretty happy. Overall, the fence line has been a big struggle, but Mother Nature, just like I told you, she started filling in the gaps here with all these new tail clippings, filling it in. Even a few weeks ago, this whole area was near bald, and I had a ton of chunky areas along this entire fence line, and you can see it's really filled itself in. So I'm going to take you through the backyard. I really wish you could just feel the grass compared to what it was when I started. It's actually thickened up quite a bit, and everything looks the way that it should. So again, guys, here is the backyard pre-mow. It's looking pretty shaggy. However, it's a lot better than when I started out with. I'm actually pretty happy. Now, I've got a couple of big dogs. And with big dogs comes big poop and big peas, and we got on top of it. And I want to show you these urine spots because that's going to be part of what I'm going to be starting to patch and repair today, is going over all these areas. Now, one big problem that I had was in this backyard, not only I have the big dogs peeing, but I actually had a valve go out, and it was leaking water, and I wasn't getting the right pressure back here. So most of my success in the backyard was simply fixing the sprinklers. But you can see how bad this dog urine spots really are. I mean, they are atrocious. We're gonna go over a few steps on how to fix this, but part of what I'm doing, what I want to do, is just kind of bring you reality. Now, these lawns aren't gonna be perfect. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to show you their perfect lawns. It's awesome. I'm kind of excited to take you guys from A to Z instead of from Q to Z or W to Z on my lawn. Makes things a lot easier. As you can see with my neighbor, he's been working hard on his too, which is really awesome because you've seen how bad his has been in the past. A couple of steps I'm going to do today to condition the soil. So one big topic that I wanted to talk about today was soil conditioner. But let's go ahead and mow the lawn first. Woo! All right, so we got the mow job done. We got the clippings blown back into the lawn. Pretty happy with the color overall. I want to remind you guys of my long-term goal. My long-term goal is to condition the soil. I've got that really hard compact clay. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. Now our short-term goal is really color, but I wanted to point out a few of our long-term goals. Long-term goal was to condition the soil as really hard, compact clay is what we're dealing with. Now, that's not so good on the roots. They're going to have a hard time penetrating, but we're also not going to get the oxygen flow that we need. Kind of another long-term goal is we've got all these dog urine spots in the backyard. Now, I kind of let these go so I could show you how we go from A to Z. So we're going to do two things at once. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start scraping these little dead spots out. Now it's really important because we don't want it matting down, and I know a lot of you guys are like, you're gonna touch it. Yes, I'm gonna touch it. You got to get the stuff out. Now the funny thing is a lot of people like say, oh, it's the natural fertilizer in the dog urine. No, it's salt, commonly found in ammonium nitrate. It's actually causing the burning. Now that salt is getting bound up in the soil. It's not penetrating, going down. Now to get these spots prepped for what I'm about to do next, I'm just going to use my thatch rake. My thatch rake is going to scrape the top of the soil, which is where a lot of the sediment is bound up. Now this is also going to help with the rhizomatous tendencies that the grass has. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand, the rhizomes, which are just the tail clippings that grow underneath the ground to form a new blade, are going to help self-repair. However, if the crown or the top layer is too dense, those rhizomes can't pop through. So it's really important that we thin the area out. Now, I don't want to scrape it bare. The point of this exercise is just to get rid of the stuff that is dead and to get rid of the stuff that is loose. Some of the stuff is still alive. So the prep work took me all but like 5 minutes to get every single spot. And as you can see here, when we get into it, it's thinned out. The point is, I only want to get rid of the loose stuff. A lot of the stuff after I get the biostimulant on it, it's actually going to come back. All right, guys, so the hard part is done. We got the prep work done. Now it's time to move on. So the biggest thing I want to do is just hit this with the soil conditioner. Now, my soil conditioner of choice for my area is going to be a mixture of humates, gypsum, and compost. Now, what I want to do here is actually just pack it in. And the easiest way to do that is with a lawn aerator. All right, guys, here we are. The Ryan Lawn Aerator 5 is what I'm going to do to take my plugs. Now, I'm going to do this to help push in my soil conditioner. Now, I'm going to use Basin's Best Organic Soil Enhancer. You guys are going to have a local vendor. These bags usually cost somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks each. I'm actually going to go pretty heavy on this. I've got 3,000 square feet. And I'm actually going to put down 150 pounds. Now, luckily, this stuff is pretty cheap. That's not hard to do, but there's a couple of reasons for it. I want to push in as many organic compounds as I can. Now, I have a lot of clay. Now, the gypsum is going to help hold that clay open. And gypsum's kind of interesting. It's going to help release calcium and sulfur ions. So that's also going to help with color. And it's going to effectively hold the clay open so more nutrients can pass. Now, the compost is going to help with nutrient holding capacity. Basically, it's just a buffer. It's going to hold those micronutrients that we're going to put in. Now, humates, I love these things. Prehistoric plant matter. Now, it also turns itself into a nice micronutrient. More importantly, it's going to help with a couple of other issues. Number one, holding water. It can hold 7 times its volume in water. And so it's really important that we get that down. But another thing it does, it helps slough sodium and salt sediment down. And that's what we want to do in this instance, especially with the dog urine and the excess clay. We want to free those roots up so they can breathe. All right, guys, I got it done finally. Now, I'm sure you guys noticed by the video, I ended up going over this section 3 times. Now, there's a reason for it. If you remember our long-term goal, I've got shallow root syndrome there. So it's easier for me to poke these holes to increase the root stability. Now, Big Ned here, he's not helping out with the pea spots. It's making it worse. So let's get that humates, the compost, and the gypsum down as soon as we can. Now, I'm going pretty heavy now. These 50-pound bags are actually suggested to put down over the course of 8,000 square feet. I'm gonna put 3 bags on 2,500 square feet. Now, I'm gonna get some real long-term benefits out of this. When you go to a granular, it's not going to be readily available in the soil as fast as I'd like it to be. So I'm going to go over the top of it with Essentials Plus and hopefully get rid of this little spot that my kids created with the slip and slide, and go for overall health with the biostimulant. Now, the liquid humates are going to be readily available, where the granular humates are going to take some time. And I'm okay with that because this is all about my long-term goal of conditioning the soil. You're one handsome dog, Big Ned. I wanted to show you guys the humates and the gypsum and the compost. It's basically just pelletized, which is nice. Your humic is black, your gypsum is commonly gray, and your compost is that in-between color. Let's go put it down.
All right, so steps 1 and 2 are complete, guys. We ended up getting our lawn aeration down to help with soil compaction. We ended up putting down our soil enhancer or soil conditioner to help loosen that compaction up for our long-term results. Now, we also want some fast results, and I find that liquids are the best way to do it. So my suggestion is use the Essentials Plus 101. It's 60-to-1 kelp to humic ratio. The humic in this is at 7%. By putting that down, it's going to speed the process up of removing the sediment off of the root bases. Since we've already got the ground opened up, it's a prime time to do that. Now, it's been about 6 weeks since my last micronutrient application. So just like usual, guys, I got the Max Pack. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to have the Max Pack. You want to get a like product with at least 4 to 8 of your micronutrients. As you can see on this label, these are the ones that I like to use. Now, I'm also going to be putting down another healthy dose of mycorrhiza. At our altitude, it's kind of hard to get the mycorrhiza in there. Now, mycorrhiza is really important because it's a beneficial fungus that helps open the root veins of the plant to help it ingest the micronutrients into the plant. So it kind of works as a catalyzing agent. Now, I really like to do things with a mathematical backing to them, and so I like to use the Chapin 24-volt rechargeable backpack sprayer. It makes it really easy. Now, there's a couple of dial-in sprays out there that are fantastic too, but the problem is I'm using some powders here, and they're not really going to go well inside of that device. Now, I'm going to calibrate this at 78 ounces every minute and a half per 1,000 square feet to make sure that I get this down correctly. Now, you can calibrate these a couple different ways. I've just found that with my walking pace and how I like to do it, it's the easiest way to go.
Well, guys, that wraps up another episode of This Is My Lawn. If you guys have any questions or concerns, hit me up in the comments. All the products will be listed in the description. Just remember, guys, sharing is caring. Until the next time, we'll see you soon.